Welcome back, everyone, to another great episode of The Human Role. So today I am here with a great friend and colleague, Sue Dunlap. So we are going to get into the behind the scenes of beyond the paycheck and really how using compensation and benefits can win the retention game with your employees. But before we get into the nitty gritty, Sue has launched her own HR consulting services. And for any of you all who don't know her, many of you all do know her in my network. But for those of you who don't, I want her to provide her background and give us details on her experience and also let her get into her HR services and how she even came up with the name HitchHR because it's such a cool different swing of things. So yes, thank you so much for being here today. Happy to just give you the floor and allow my network to know more about you.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Tiana, for having me. I'm excited to be here. And yes, let's just get it out of the way. People always ask if Hitch HR is because of the Will Smith movie. And honestly, I love it. I love Hitch the character. I'm not the star. I am behind the scenes. I'm the behind the scenes coach, helping leaders connect with employees in a way that actually stick. But the real inspiration, honestly, from Hitch HR is the fact that a hitch pulls things forward. And whether it's a boat, a camper, or in my case, a company's people strategy. So my work is about hitching into businesses and pulling them forward through growth, mergers, compliance, chaos, you name it. So at Hitch HR, I just don't survive change with you. I help you hitch up, buckle in, and pull forward stronger than ever before.
There you go. I mean, what else can you ask for, right? From an HR stance. That's good. And that is why she is just so solid and amazing. So please make sure you are staying connected with Sue. She will be attached to this post. So just make sure you're connecting with her because she has great, very strong HR experience and can really provide heavy guidance. So we are now going to get into the back end details of what goes beyond the paycheck that a lot of people don't really see, right? So compensation isn't just always necessarily your salary. There's lots that companies cover when it comes to benefits and other type of ancillary items, that they offer that employees may not necessarily pay too much attention to. So I wanted to first pick Sue's brain on how can our HR leaders really design packages that align with the employee needs, but also the evolving business goals, which is really important.
Compensation, unfortunately, can't be cookie cutter anymore. Employees don't just want paychecks. They want peace of mind. They want growth. They want flexibility. Meanwhile, businesses need packages that fuel retention and profitability. And so I like to call it, instead of compensation packages, I like to call them life-proof packages. And so as an employer, you want to build something that's sustainable, that works for the bottom line, and also fits the employees' actual lives. And so if you skip the balance, it's like only serving chicken and broccoli. Like it technically works, but people find a better restaurant. Money gets people in the door, but meaning is what keeps them running for the exit.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, talk about culture that we've talked about beforehand. And also, I've been saying in many past episodes that we are now in more so of like an employee market versus an employer market. I will repeatedly say that because we have to just continue to revamp ways to please the employees. And we got all generations in the workforce. So we got to stay on our toes. But now that leads me to, based on Sue's experience, I love to hear what you feel like has been the biggest mistake, right, that organizations have made when they're restructuring compensations and benefits during really like a heavy time of change.
Yeah, this one is unfortunately an easy answer, but it's the fact that employers make moves in panic. Leaders treat compensation restructuring like they're cleaning out a junk drawer. They toss stuff around in hopes that nobody notices, but employees always notice, whether you like it or not. And so the bigger mistake, though, is hiding behind silence. And so employees don't expect perfection, but they do expect honesty. And so you don't want to band-aid your way through any restructuring. You rip it off, explain that scar, and share the healing pain. And so trust is more than just a quick fix. In my perspective, restructuring compensation without transparency, it's like cutting somebody's hair in the dark. Like everybody's going to notice the mess in the morning if you're cutting somebody's hair in the dark.
Yes, very true. Full transparency. We've got to be transparent. There's too many things going on online where people just go to TikTok and ask a question, or, where Google used to be their thing and they used to come into your office. So we really want to be transparent and make sure that they hear things from HR, because we don't want them to feel like they can't trust us in any way, shape, or form. And so, Sue, beyond the salary, any non-traditional benefits or perks that you've seen make really a meaningful impact during or at least difference in retention?
It may sound silly, but pet insurance, it sounds silly, but until you realize employees will stay for Fido when they won't stay for a free gym membership, it really comes down to flexibility. Control over your schedule is also often more valuable than a 3% raise. And so some other winners, professional development stipends, mental health days, student loan repayments, and again, pet insurance. So I worked with a company that introduced paternity leave for their new pet parents. And people laughed at it first, but loyalty really skyrocketed. So it's little things like that, knowing your employees, what do they want, and what's going to keep them engaged.
Yeah, I mean, I love that because I am a pet mom myself. It's really important when you have an employer that cares about those things. And I guess, it's funny where you have like maternity leave, now paternity leave is coming into, now we got, Paul leave coming. I mean, there's just like a whole world of different things to kind of meet certain people. And I think sometimes people may not feel comfortable saying, hey, look, my animal passed away, or I got a new animal, the dog or cat was up all night playing around and stuff, So there could be lots of things going on with that where it's really important. The pet insurance, I think, is another key point. And then flexibility of work schedule, work-life balance is, I think, that one of the top ones. And Sue can correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like right now, where especially when employers are trying to get employees back into office, there is an argument for that, but also, allowing people to be at home and having that different type of flexibility would definitely have them second guess them leaving somewhere and actually having to be full time in an office for me.
100%.
So let's get into some examples. So you worked long tenure, great companies. I mean, she has amazing clients now in the consulting space. So I'd love for you to share some examples where really a thoughtful compensation or benefit strategy has really helped stabilize the workforce during really an uncertain time, because we are in very uncertain times right now, guys.
Employees, unfortunately, they compare paychecks faster than you can brew a cup of coffee nowadays. So if you don't address it, you've got a rebellion brewing. So the fix, in my opinion, is to make sure, especially when you're doing a merger and acquisition, is to run a comprehensive compensation analysis and make sure you have open communication about the process, and that you lay out a clear timeline around equity, whatever that looks like, even if it takes time. Doesn't matter how much time it takes, as long as you can outline the timing and expectations of it. Think of it like merging playlists at a wedding. You've got to cut the duplicates, you got blend vibes, and you got to make sure that no one's favorite song gets left out. Otherwise, people are just going to leave the dance floor. So you want to make sure people are engaged and that they have the mixture and variety in order to keep people engaged in a wedding and the playlist. In my opinion, compensation equity after a merger, it's kind of like Thanksgiving with two different families. If you don't plan it right, somebody's going to get pissed. Somebody's going to flip the table. So you just have to make sure that you are intentional about running a comprehensive comp analysis, and then whatever that plan needs to look like, that you're rolling it out and you're communicating it.
How cool is it that we are approaching the holiday time? Oh, yeah, she's already prepping us to get prepared for family drama.
That's right.
Holiday. I mean, you got to, right? You got to. Yeah. So no, all good things, and I think from my end, you've got to just make sure we're covering all the bases, and you kind of can't please everybody, but we can do the best that we can. And last but not least, so Sue, for anyone out there that is going through a merger and acquisition right now, how should our HR peeps really approach the compensation equity, when we're talking about across legacy companies, especially after merger and acquisition, because people are already upset. So any insight that you can give out to anyone out there?
Yeah, I would compare pay and benefits to an equivalent of a basement. Like, it's critical, like a basement is critical, but it's not cozy. So Total rewards is the full house, that house that has that basement. So you got to make sure that you're folding in recognition, that you're incorporating culture, what growth opportunities are there within the organization, and then make sure you're providing leadership support. So it's not just about total rewards, it's about that whole package that you have to think about. So if you're only paying people, you're only renting their time. But with a full reward strategy, you're investing in their commitment. So I would encourage leaders to be thinking about it more that way.
Yeah, more holistic, but also like we want that loyalty, right? To keep employees coming back or just not wanting to leave. And so eventually, a salary isn't going to, what Sue was mentioning earlier, salary isn't going to keep them around. There's got to be other layers and factors to keep them around and to stay competitive. And what is already a tough market, but there's still plenty of opportunities for everyone out there, lots of growth, lots of things, for people to focus on the horizon. Dare I mention the two letters AI taking over the world? I mean, there's just so much change that is happening. And so you don't want to lose your best employees just because you didn't allow, one day at home or you didn't get something in your benefits package as we're in open enrollment season right now. So
Right.
okay, thanks. So thank you so much, Sue, for providing your insight. I wanted to also have Sue reiterate and let us know of anything else additional that we haven't touched base on when it comes to not only HR services, but, HitchHR, which is her launch, her consulting company. Really proud that she's launched it and, took the leap on things. And yeah, just anything else you want us to know or just, say about your company, have at it.
Awesome. Well, find me on LinkedIn, Sue Dunlap, MBA, or you can search Hitch HR Services, the LinkedIn page. Hitch HR, again, is like Hitch the movie. I'm behind the scenes coaching and helping companies win at retention. And so let's face it, employees don't want ping pong tables. They want paychecks that feel fair and leaders who tell the truth. And if you get that right, you just don't retain talent, you actually unleash it. In my world, HR isn't about paperwork and it's about building workplaces where people don't dread the Mondays. So you want to make sure that you're setting your organization up for success to where they're excited about Mondays instead of dreading it. So yeah, contact me for more. I'm happy to help on a fractional basis.
Yay. I was going to say, the employees don't want another pizza day. I mean, don't be the company that gets laughed at online. And also talk about Hitch. Sue came in with great presents too. Purse holder for all my ladies out there with Hitch HR and her QR code. And it does look like a little Hitch too. So yeah, so please make sure you reach out to her. For any
Happy to give me one.
Yes, I know. But yeah, so we'll make sure we continue the conversation. Sue's the website is listed here, and obviously she will be attached to this post as mentioned earlier. Connect with her, and if you have any questions or insights, feel free to reach out. Don't over bombard her because you do have to sign a contract if it's too much, but definitely reach out and get some great insight from her. And thank you again, Sue. Really. Okay, guys, and I will see you back in another few weeks with another great episode. Bye.